Welcome back to Fight Club here. I'm Gareth A Davies via Boxing Social. Joining us now, Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren, who was obviously middle, centre and front of the events on Saturday night in Poland. Very unhappy with the decision by Luis Pabon de Puerto Rico, the referee, to allow Oleksandr Usyk to recover in that fifth round. Frank, as the dust settles, thank you so much for joining us as always. You're very unhappy with what happened in the ring on Saturday night and the decisions from referee Pabon.
Yes, I am. I'm very unhappy because it was a legitimate blow. Everybody seems, a lot of people who think it was a low blow have gone by the fact that it hit the belt line of his shorts, and that is not what it's all about. It should be below the navel, and his shorts were high. Usyk's shorts were high, and that was a legitimate blow. I think Joe Cortez, who's a very, very experienced referee, he's a neutral in the whole subject. He came out today. I think he's refereed nearly 200 world title fights and said that was a legitimate punch, and it was. There's lots of backup material, and I've sent a lot of them to you, Gareth, because obviously your initial opinion was, or your opinion still may be, that it was a low blow, which I fiercely disagree with. And I asked you, you said you'd seen some footage, and you sent me, I think it was one sort of bit of footage of a punch. It was put together by it sounded like a Ukrainian who'd put it together, and it shows this punch. And if you look at it as a photograph, it looks like the punch has landed, but it hadn't landed, and they don't show it right to the end. All they've done, they've showed a punch before it got to the shorts, and it looks like it's a low blow. You look on all the other things, when you look at the momentum of the punch, it comes all the way through and it hits him on the band. It was not a low blow. And you know, with Usyk, it's not like he's and it's only since this I've sort of really looked at it. I mean, I studied his fights. And before the fight, my big thing with the fight with the camp was, look, you got to go for his body. He's very vulnerable there. I know he's vulnerable, but I look back at the his last few fights since the fight on Saturday, and for example, he went down against Beterbiev, he went down against Levitt in 2011, Megidov. And they were all
in the amateurs.
And they were all, and he complained about low blows. He did the same thing with Anthony Joshua, which he complained was a low blow. And coincidentally, the referee for that fight was Pabon, the same referee. But if you go to the rules, and because this one, although he holds 3 belts, the defence was the turn of the WBA. It was their mandatory. And if you go to their rules, Rule 30 says protector. It says a protector, brackets, belt and cup, shall be required for boxers participating in sanctioned fights. The protector shall not exceed the navel or the superior anterior iliac spine. The trunks go 1 inch over the protector. Boxers should have the trunk to protector available at the weigh-in ceremony so that supervisor or referee may approve or disapprove them. Before beginning the fight, the referee will verify that both contenders use their protectors below the navel. Well, first of all, he didn't do that. You look in the ring, he doesn't say anything to them about protectors. Nothing at all. And Daniel took his shorts to the or his shorts were taken along to the rules meeting, which is the day before the fight, which takes place after the weigh-in. And also in Daniel's dressing room, the referee did not even discuss that. Don Charles brought it to his attention, and it's on film, and Don says to him about him wearing his shorts high. And his shorts were not, they were much, much more than 1 inch above his navel. There's no doubt about that, unless he's got the highest navel in the world.
So your feeling is that, based on all this evidence, that you feel you've been wronged, you've said it's a nonsense, you want justice, you're quoted widely as saying that today, that it's split the boxing world, obviously, people feeling it's borderline. I felt it was borderline, that Pabon may have made a mistake. There's no question about that. Will you make a full appeal to the WBA then, with documentary evidence?
absolutely. We got documentaries. We got a load of loads and loads of films and photos to back it up. You should send me the one yesterday. No one else has sent me another thing. The only other one was from, what's his name, Dan Raphael, saying it wasn't a low blow.
And he got the wrong punch.
And it weren't even the right punch. I mean, mind you, what would he know about a waist level or a waistline? And the other thing is what the referee didn't do. He just straight away and said low blow to Usyk and just give him that rest. He done that straight away, which I found very strange.
Do you think Usyk milked it then with him in many ways?
Oh, of course, not much. Jesus, you sure? Milked it. I mean, he didn't get hit in the balls, did he?
No.
So he milked it. He absolutely milked it for 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Like nearly 24 times the amount of time you'd get for a count, a 10-second count. That's what he did. And Usyk said yesterday in an interview, if the referee had said gone on, the referee had counted, he'd have got up. He said that yesterday. And he would have done, because otherwise he'd have lost the fight.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. And obviously it's funny, most of the people who say it was a low blow are the usual haters. They either don't like Queensberry or like me. It's the usual faces. So I'm very, very disappointed with that and the outcome of the fight. And I think it took a lot of momentum away from Daniel, and it took a lot of his spirit away, to be quite honest. He had a couple of good moments in that fight. I knew it was going to be a tough fight for him from the start, but I knew that once he could settle down and if he could find his range and let those body shots go, I believed he would get to him. I mean, I said before the fight, I really genuinely believed he would stop him if he caught him, and he did catch him, and it should have been a stoppage. But look, it is what it is. But coming away from that part of it, Daniel's also now got to look back at that fight and realise you can't feel sorry for yourself. It didn't go his way. The referee didn't do it, so you should have stepped on the gas, and he didn't do that. He didn't do that. I know he was disheartened, but that's not what it's about. You've got to grit your teeth. You've got to be Tyson Fury. Get off the floor when you're down, grit your teeth if you're not badly hurt, and get yourself back into it. And anyway, that's a lesson to be learned. And I think he's in the same position, really, in some ways, as Joshua is in. But thankfully, he's a younger man. So he's got a chance to turn this around. But the most important part of this fight is that this was a out-and-out wrong and diabolical decision.
So you will present evidence to the WBA. You hope it gets overturned and a rematch is not necessarily overturned, but they order a rematch. That's what they would do potentially, or they could order a no contest if they think Pabon has made a catastrophic error. If that happens, obviously there's a rematch, unless Usyk vacates the belt, which he could do as well. What happens though if you? I'm just positing this out there because it's a natural question. If that doesn't happen, will Usyk face Tyson Fury next in America, in the United, in the Middle East, or will he face Hrgovic next?
Well, he can't fight him in the free places.
Yeah, I've gone too far. That I was joking. For some reason, I had United Arab Emirates in my head, but obviously it's Saudi Arabia. So,
look, that fight, the objective of Sassy was the winner of the fight would be in a unification fight with Tyson sometime next in the first quarter of next year. That was the objective. It's still the objective to get the unification on. So if we can get a resolution quickly on this situation with the WBA, get their rematch on, they could probably do that in December.
Yeah, makes sense. Final one, Frank, today, and thank you so much for your time. Moses Itauma here in the studio with me. Future of the heavyweight division?
I think he's got a fabulous future. I mean, he's 18 years of age. He's got a long way to go yet, obviously, because of his age, but he's got a great work ethic. He wants it. I know he wants it, and I've got a lot of faith in him. And I think that he can go all the way, provided he sticks to his regime. Provided, it's with the greatest respect, he listens, because we don't know what it's all about when we're young. I certainly didn't. I'm still 71. I still don't know what it's all about. But I think we've got to work out, if he allows me to do what I'm good at doing, and certainly let him and his manager Francis do what they do between them, and certainly the most important work in the ring with Moses, I generally think he can get gold away. I mean, he's a very exciting fighter. And there is one more thing before we go, and I don't want to overlook a great performance on Saturday night, Hamza Shiraz.
Yes.
That was a fabulous, fabulous performance in the other guy's backyard. Undefeated fighter, Ukrainian, in front of all that crowd. He absolutely took him to school and destroyed him.
Fantastic. He did indeed. A very, very exciting middleweight prospect, this Hamza Shiraz. Frank, we appreciate your time as always, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And see you in the gym later, Moses.
See you later.
Thanks, Frank.
How come you got him out of bed so early?
I don't know, but it's good to get an 18-year-old out of bed before 9 o'clock in the morning to come to the studio, isn't it?
Have a good day. See you later.
Cheers,
Bye,
Frank.
Bye.